There we go. Make sure everything looks like everything was working. Excellent. Alrighty. So here we go. Once more into the wastelands.
So they tell me.
So they tell you.
We need to update our icons to these fancy vault ones we've made.
I gotta figure out why things say blank.
Do we have is there a link?
Should be pinned in the Discord.
Oh, whoop.
Yeah, it's only like, aside from my and Chris's conversation, it's pretty much right above that. Still, but it is pinned.
I found it now.
I just wish I could have, you actually can change the color on like the scarf. Or, well, the pants that have other things attached to them. Oh well.
So when last we left, you guys had defeated the evil scientist who thought that perhaps she was a god or a creator of some sort, thanks to some conveniently timed mini nukes, which made a very short work of her and her minions. Secured the facility, left Oakland behind to play around with the robotics workshop. But you guys have had some time if there's any mods that you want. There was a weapon workbench and an armor workbench there, as well as the robotics one. And Smiths does have the skills to make some mods if anybody wanted. I know B posted a bunch to Discord. I don't know if anybody else wanted anything else modded.
Which reminds me, make my changes here. Accurate. Damage increase. Night vision.
But other than that, you guys, over the last little bit, have traveled for a little bit and come to this small settlement called Oroville Station. It's a tiny little settlement of about 30-ish people. Or sorry, Oroville Junction. It's on a river, like an artificial river that connects two bays. So they have a water supply. Most of the ramshackle houses are put together from salvaged scrap metal and wood and debris. Nothing in this little village or settlement is pretty, but it is functional. The two things that have caught your attention while you're looking around for work, basically, is that they actually do have a makeshift wind turbine. So they do have a means of generating power. And they have a small general store named Rusty's Relics and Provisions Incorporated, run by a gentleman named Rusty.
Weird.
Yep. Rusty's is a repurposed gas station. He's got a little bell over the door that rings. Rusty himself is very kind of grizzled, salt and pepper beard, eye patch. Behind the counter, there's a faded map of the region, marked with very cryptic symbols that you guys have no idea what they mean. The two main people that you would know here, having recently arrived, is there's Rusty, who runs the general store, and a woman named Addison Lancaster, who seems to be the mayor. Addison is a fairly kind of geeky looking woman in her 30s, constantly pushing her bandaged up glasses up her nose, wears a lab coat most of the time. And she seems to be the one that runs the place. Other than that, it is, now that you guys have come here with Janice, it is now officially a one Brahmin town.
That usually means trouble.
You guys can easily, they do have beds for rent in Rusty's, kind of like a dormitory setup. But even though like the little sign outside that says, you know, like Oroville Junction, population 32, there's a fair number of people in this little settlement. And most of them do not look like your typical settlers. Some of them are wearing like piecemeal armor. Some of them are definitely wearing like raider armor, raider colors. There's a couple of folks there wearing like the kind of like weather-beaten fatigues of the NCR. And they all seem to be staying in their own little kind of cliques or groups, usually like between 4 and 6 individuals in each group. The NCR folks have a Mr. Gutsy with them. That seems to be the only real robot that you see here in town. But for a place with a population of 32, there's easily like 60 people here currently. Like the town's population has basically doubled.
Oh, crow. There's got to be something worthwhile around here then.
And with that, we'll turn it over to you guys to see what you would like to do.
There's a workbench here.
They actually, in Rusty's, he actually has an armor bench, and a weapon bench, a chem bench, and a cooking station.
Oh.
Wow. Isn't that nice?
Thinking of what I want to put. No, so I don't think I leveled up, right? No. We're just...
No, we're close, but we're not there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I kind of want to take close quarters off so I don't have to be near anything.
Oh, close quarters just means you don't take a penalty for doing it. What you'd be looking for is instead to increase the range without losing close quarters.
Okay.
Because then you're only dealing with the range penalty, not also a penalty for the fact that something's in your face.
A lot of these do remove close quarters, though.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is a thing. But that's why, I've got the pistol and I've got my rifle.
Yeah. Honestly, I should probably get an energy rifle at some point instead of just my pistol. Or I have my Syringer. I just need to fight not robots. But I think what I'll do... I boosted on my energy gun already. But I will... I think I'll just put an improved barrel on it.
Sure.
Where's the improved one? There it is. To add 1 more damage to it. So its weight goes up by 1. It says, like, how does modifying these work?
You have to basically modify the stats and then go in and add them to the listing for mods. Because it's just a type-in listing.
Difficulty 1 using intelligence and whatever skills listed.
Yep. So what are you adding it to? You're adding it to your...
My laser pistol.
Right. So in that case, you have science 2, right?
Science 1.
Science 1, so you can add a photon exciter, which would give us a vicious, or a boosted capacitor, which would give it +1 damage, but -1 to the fire rate.
What does vicious do? What does vicious do?
Vicious is an effect. Anytime you get an effect, it adds damage.
Huh?
So when you roll that 5 or 6, it means it's 2 damage, not 1. Plus anything else that might trigger.
In that case, yeah, I'll do the photon exciter then. Because I don't have science 2 just yet. Although if I wait a little bit, then I can get it. How many caps do we have? How many caps do I have?
I don't know. There's a link to the spreadsheet is pinned that tells you all the crap you guys have.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if we have the stuff to buy a laser rifle.
You can just throw a stock on your pistol.
Yeah.
Right. And for Mike, for the new character for Arkham, basically you have come here to this tiny little settlement. Essentially,
Also from the Commonwealth.
so far from the Commonwealth. It a lot of their money. They're almost like a staging area for scavengers going into the ruins beyond. So it's where people kind of like post up, kind of like base camp when you're climbing a mountain, which probably explains why there's so many people here right now. So it's a good place to, you grab a bunk, you pay Rusty a couple of caps. He keeps an eye on anything that you want to leave behind, and then you can use it as a base camp for scavenging into the ruins beyond. And the ruins are fairly sizable. It's 2 towns kind of merged together. So in the old days, it probably had a population of like 15,000 people. So it's big enough that it's got like abandoned malls and shopping centers and all sorts of things for scavengers on the hunt.
It would definitely be good to add a couple more caps to the stash. But first things first, I gotta head over to the general store, and old Betsy here needs some more ammunition. She's running a little low. Those last raiders on the road left me only a few rounds remaining. If they're at the shop too, I guess they'll see the door open and it's...
Yeah, because I definitely need to look to see if they've got any more 308.
You'd notice a guy that looks very similar to Sam Elliott, except with long blonde hair and a blonde mustache.
Oh, so Sam Elliott before going gray.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Standing at the counter, he's wearing a long set of road leathers with some definitely modified leather armor and a fiberglass combat helmet.
Oh, nice.
At his side, you see a massive 6-shooter of a pistol slung in a holster. And that's the only thing he seems to carry with him.
Yeah, if you're going to go. I can't fault that.
It appears to be a very modified 44 Magnum.
Supposed to my very normal one that's in like my leg holster.
This man is in his 40s. Seems a little bit leathered from being on the road for quite a long time. You can see, tape holding the sole of his one boot together, and he's got patches here and there where he's fixed his clothes. And he literally walks right up to the counter, kind of gives you all a nod and waits in line.
And assuming all of you are at the general store, just because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a lineup. You see, most of the people seem to be doing one of two things. They are either picking up a scavenge permit, which seems to be not a necessity, but as you kind of like are overhearing, like it's basically recommended.
You're less likely to run into trouble when you're trying to sell your stuff.
Kind of.
And,
yeah.
And it might keep people from trying to pick you off on your way back in.
Yeah. And the other thing is a fair number of people seem to be registering kind of like as teams for something called Salvage Bowl.
Yeah.
Are there any posters or signage up on the walls?
Yeah, any information?
There's a couple of like faded things. There's like a like a missing person like a faded missing poster up on the wall, like kind of sun bleached. There's the map of the area kind of behind the counter. There's like a bunch of other things that look like they may have been, like jobs, but like they've been kind of X'd through, but they're just kind of hung up there for posterities or laziness.
Okay. But nothing on this salvageable.
Nothing unsalvageable.
Okay. Well, I may as well ask about it.
All right. And for anybody who is curious, if you go to your journal tab, you should see a folder called Orville Junction. And underneath that, there should be a journal entry for Rusty's Relics and Provisions Incorporated, which will give you a list of what all he has in stock.
Except the shop is currently closed.
Oh. I forgot it actually has a built-in thing, so I can set hours for the shop, and you guys can't open
That's
it.
so funny.
Hello,
amazing.
6308 rounds.
And if you
Shotgun.
Really, man?
Yep.
Only 5 bullets?
44 ammo is hard to come by.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
it always is.
That's about how much we've found the entire time so far, man. And then I fired it all off, saving the party.
So if there's something you want to purchase, if you hit the purchase button, it'll actually ask you how many of those things you want to buy, and it'll remove them from his inventory and might add it to yours, and it'll deduct from your caps as well.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
test this out.
It did not add it to mine. Oh, there it is. It just did. It
Yeah.
came up as a separate 308.
Did we split the caps from last raid?
I don't think so, because I've only got 54 caps, and I've
Yeah.
had that for a while.
I don't know if I have any. I think I'm just poor.
No, that was the extent of the last time I still had caps left over. It worked perfectly though.
But yeah, if you purchase anything, it actually comes up as a chat thing on mine that you want to buy them, and then I hit OK,
Oh, cool.
and then it
That's
adds into your
neat.
inventory.
His boys just like slaps caps down, grabs the ammo.
And if you want to sell anything, you can also drag it from your inventory to the store.
Oh.
And it'll auto do the base cost of the math, barring any bartering. So as you guys are purchasing things, kind of looking things over, seeing what all he's got, he's like, so y'all here for scavenging or for salvage bowl?
What's salvageable?
Yeah, it's time to wonder that.
Well, it's well, you may have noticed that sometimes stock runs a little bit low, and I mean we buy from scavengers. I mean, you don't necessarily need the permit. You get better prices with the permit, of course. So I highly encourage it. But also the permit allows you to enter salvage bowl, which kind of like a little competition that we have. Teams go out into things for like usually a week. I think we're doing a week this time. I think that's what Addison said. And everything that you bring back and sell back to the shop counts as a point. Whoever's got the most point wins. That way everybody gets fun, and we get to replenish our stock.
Neat. Sounds fairly harmless.
Well, really depends.
I mean, more like for the average person to contribute with.
Yeah, I mean, we usually have pretty good prizes. We're going to announce the prizes later tonight for the teams that have signed up.
Is there like a team size max minimum limits or anything?
No, most people find, 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one team come by once that had 12. But only 4 of them came back.
Oof.
So, and then there's the fact that, if you want to, the permit, if you want to like register your team by a permit, it's 10 caps per member.
Ah, I see.
So,
Ah, good details. Thanks for the info. And the bullets, although I paid for those.
yeah, anytime. If y'all are interested, we're still doing sign-ups until probably right around supper time tonight. Teams are going to let out in the morning.
Good to know. Give us something to talk about, guys.
Mhm.
Let's see. Just a moment here. In game is like Boise's. Since I've seemed to have taken over the loot list with Mike changing characters. Let's see. There's
We should cook the food we have.
4 of us, and
I think you're muted, Anita.
What?
I'm pretty sure they've got some stoves around, like little cook spots. So yeah, we should definitely cook up what we can.
do people want a cut of our current existing caps?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I figure keeping a share for general purchasing. That means we all get 85.
85?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm obligated to let you know if you register as salvagers, you get 5% better prices when you sell things.
I'm sure we'll be taking care of that in fairly short order.
5% adds up. Hmm. I don't think there's much I need to buy, but I'll try to make.
Decent amount of stuff we can try and move.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of stuff to sell.
I can't purchase anything. It keeps saying I don't have the caps. Or Oakland doesn't have the caps.
Poor Oakland, literally.
Yeah. I think it's still because it's I'm linked with my old character that it's trying to take and add to the old character.
Yeah.
Right. Try that.
I would also like to add the I can fuck yeah, I can do it. 2, yes.
Okay. Perfect. There. Seems to be working now. That was the thing. I didn't have you set over to
Yeah, it seems to be working now because I just pulled water and food over. Fuck, you don't have a lot here. They have a noodle shop or a food house here in town.
They don't. They got Rusty's.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why they're doing Salvage Bowl.
I'll make a science roll. Do we have the materials that I can try to go for that photon exciter? Because I haven't made it yet.
Yeah, you do. You've got a bunch of material still.
Cool. Science 1.
Alright. I think that's everything. Purchased some food and some water.
I got 1 success.
Okay. One sec. First time you guys have crafted anything.
Yeah, and it's that whole skill level reduces complexity difficulty number.
It said that the difficulty is only 1.
I will look it up later. You would have had time to make it before you guys left Oaklands and everything anyway, so
Oh, okay.
won't worry too much about it. I will look it up later.
Yeah, because it's not like I expect that there's a bench that we currently have access to here.
No, they will charge you by the hour for the bench.
Yeah, and that's 4 hours to make it, 1 hour to install.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Is Rebecca over her heat flashes?
She is. It took her like a better part of 4 or 5 days.
Yay!
But yes, you're over your heat flashes. Oakland's over his heat flashes. Should you guys ever visit him again? And both the Rebecca and Smith's arms have healed.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, that was one of the things we waited for before moving out, which is why we had so much time for mods.
Okay. Would I be able to get those 4 or 5 days in milking time for Janice?
Sure.
Okay.
Make your Janus checks.
Yeah, so it'd be agility and survival.
Oh, yeah, like your first day or so, I probably would have did it for you. You know, because you're still recovering. Just saying.
Sure. You do 2, I'll do 3.
Okay.
Oh, Janice likes you.
Yeah. I've got the hands.
Ah, they must have been cold that morning.
A little colder, but it's still never as cold as the rest of the parties.
Yeah, my hands are cold, always.
Unfortunately, we don't yet have any fusion cells for us to spare, so you can warm your hands around them.
No, Lord, no.
Live
I'll
the dream.
manage.
Live the dream.
So there we go, Chris. How much ramen milk is that?
Looks like 7. $11. I missed the super success that Boise got on the first day.
It was all the sweet talk, and it's like I know, Janice, I know. But Rebecca's working on getting better, and so we're gonna do everything we can to help her out, right?
And if somebody wants to write it down, you also have 8 uncommon materials from Brahmin fertilizer.
Oh.
I'll spend those.
Who's managing the loot list?
I am. At least it seems to be.
That's fine by me. I have done loot lists often enough. I don't feel the need.
Me too, but
I'm
at the
happy
same
to give
time,
that up.
I've had a nice break. I've had a nice break for a little bit, so I don't mind.
Alrighty. We've got, what, 3 humans with us right now?
If
No, we've got 2. No, we've got 1.
I'm 1.
I'm one.
It looks like there's
It's an
two
even
humans
split.
in your party there.
Yeah.
Huh. Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
she'll
casual observer.
she'll set like 3 units of Brahmin milk aside and sell the rest.
Just in case you guys need it before morning.
Understandable.
So we'll sell 8 of those.
All right.
Should I put on my fancy clothes for that?
Depends whether you want to try to talk Rusty up to a better deal or just take what he's offering.
What's he offering?
Standard going rate.
How many of them are you selling? 8?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll buy one of those, ma'am.
Sure.
What do you want for it?
Let's hear what Rusty's gonna pay me for it.
Well, Rusty's willing to offer you 24 caps for all of them.
We're willing to take a new adventuring partner. I mean, what?
Well, how about 21 for 7, and I'll sell you one for 3.
Thank you kindly.
Wholesale price. Of course, I don't know if anyone remembers what wholesale was anymore.
Is
Weird
that when you were able to
stuff
get
that
someone
goes
to buy
away.
a whole?
Not quite.
How many? How many years post bomb are we?
Several. It is the current year is 2283.
Okay.
I don't know offhand what year the bombs actually fell.
See, I'd be able to tell you what that meant in Star Trek.
Okay, so the
But
bombs
Fallout? Not so much.
the bombs dropped October 23rd, 2077. So you're like 2 centuries almost past the day the bombs dropped.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry, it was
say
2077?
2077.
October.
October.
Cyberpunk?
October 27th, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I knew it was right around Halloween.
23rd.
the global nuclear war was specifically to prevent cyberpunk.
Chris,
Yes.
the items that I purchased from the shop did not show up on my character sheet.
Uh-oh.
It shows that the money has been subtracted, but I should have 2 clean water, 2 iguana on a stick, and 2 of the Blammo mac and cheese.
Might just be a way that the consumables are coded.
Well, to be fair, mine's the only one that came out in the chat.
And then can you add the Brahmin milk too, please? And I already subtracted the 3 caps for that.
I'm too poor to buy what I wanted, so I'm good. I'm too poor for now, I should say.
I should have 11 bullets. Okay. You folks look like you're salvagers too. judging by that big pack animal you have outside and the fact that you're selling goods in here. You wouldn't happen to have any 44 ammunition around for sale, would you?
Sadly, no. We got 2 pieces, but no ammo for it.
I only got some 38. Sorry.
A shame.
The few times we've come across some, we've had to use it to ventilate people trying to take our stuff.
I completely understand. He says as he grabs a sack off the shelf and pays the however much for a sack. I don't know what a sack is, a backpack. Is there a cost for backpacks in the book?
There is.
Oh, does he even have one? No.
Nope. Somebody else already snagged that.
Dang. Okay, well, I guess I'm just shoving all of my food and items into my pockets then.
I know how that is.
Yeah, you see him. He appears to have nothing left other than a handful of caps and a gun. As if he made it out of some sort of situation. He looks at you for a moment and says, "Are you folks planning on heading in for some salvaging?"
Now, we just got here recently, so I expect we might, but I think we still have to weigh our options, eh? And that's when Boise actually looks at the rest of the group.
Salvadine probably wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer doctoring, but I don't mind salvaging. I can go places where you guys can't. Well, except I guess for Smiths.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he seems to be more of a smart ass, whereas you're a smart woman.
I can be a smart ass, thank you.
It seems most others around here have partnered up already. And I'm heading in there as got to make some caps back somehow.
Yeah.
Let's say we put our guns together and take a split on any of the loot that we find in there. You seem like honest folk. Why don't we work together?
Yeah, well, since a group of 12s came back 4,
Right?
a sets of hands in more shouldn't be bad.
I welcome your offer, and the spirit is given. However, I will mention, if you're going to double cross us, you better make sure I'm dead, or you're not making it back to town.
He gives you that old Western steely eye look and says, "The same goes for you."
Yeah,
I try not.
guys are
And then
so weird.
Boise chuckles and says, "I try not to shoot twice."
For me, as long as I can keep all the melee weapon, I don't mind.
It's all right, Mass. You use that shit pretty effectively.
The name's Arkham.
I go by Boise.
Pleasure.
Likewise.
I'm Smiths.
And the lovely lady here to my right, currently negotiating for a couple other things, is Rebecca.
Shotgun shells.
I'm Mass.
Yeah.
By the way, Arkham?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that up New York way? Or a different one?
Mountain near Boston. There's a town nobody's heard about.
I've heard about it. Anyway, I'm a doctor in case you need one. Just, putting it out there. I'm just trying to get some shotgun shells.
Just so you know, Chris, I tried to purchase all 8, but nothing seems to have happened. There we go. Thank you.
Just make sure it showed up on your character sheet.
Yeah, it did. Although it showed up as a separate line from the shotgun shells I already have, which is...
I was like, as long as it works, I'm fine with that too, because that's what my 308 did.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
We got some shotgun shells too from last raid. Did you pick those?
I only had 5, so I don't know where the shotgun shells are. I haven't brought up the loot list yet. I probably ought to.
I think the 5 was with what we picked up, but there's 6 there's 6 on the sheet.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't from there then, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
I could pick 2 of them because in last resort I do have a barrel shotgun.
Go
so
for it.
Yeah.
Could just pick 2 and leave the rest to you.
Yeah, if you guys want to split them, I'll just set that back to 0.
Yeah, set that back to 0.
Okay. No, I'm going to take off.
Sorry, how many was I getting?
4.
I was getting 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just had to reduce the 10 mil because I already added those to my count. Now now that I have my chain pistol started.
I'm going to take off the separate line. There we go.
I suppose that means we should buy scabber licenses.
Oh yeah.
Well, as a
Did we
show,
get rid of?
how much is the licenses, Chris?
10 caps per.
We've got a.
It's 5 of us. I put down 25 caps and say you cover the other half, and that should get all 5 of us.
All right. I reach into the pack, the pack of, and take out caps from the group stash for the other 25. Because that
That's
sounds like
mighty kind of you.
Didn't we split those cap earlier?
No, I split it 5 ways, so there was a party share
Oh, okay.
specifically for things like that.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Or if we're in a tight
Boise?
spot and we need to get food or a room to stay. Yeah.
We've got like a shit ton of armor.
Yeah.
We should
We do.
probably sell some of it off. We definitely don't need as nobody's got that many limbs.
Well, yeah, especially now that we get the 5% bonus.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
I think we got some reinforced combat armor, right? I could upgrade my pieces for those ones.
Everything that's showing here is Raider, other than the power armor stuff.
Oh, okay, fine.
And a couple pieces of leather.
Rebecca's gonna kind of lean over to whisper in Boise's ear.
I've got a formal hat and some formal clothes. Suit up to talk to this guy too.
Yeah, now suit up.
And they're
Do you want me to negotiate, ma'am? I have
are you good at
bit
that
of a way
kind of
word.
thing?
Yeah. Yes. He's a smooth talker.
No.
Oh, fancy, fancy. Would you like to wear my hat?
If you don't mind.
Not at
he's
all.
Also inspirational. You guys feel good just being around him.
Oh.
No wonder he pays for half our stuff.
Oh man, yeah. I tried to build that old Wild West gunslinger type character that was good at talking and gritty but awesome with a gun. So can I barter for a better deal?
You can certainly try.
All right.
It does swing both ways, unfortunately, but yeah.
Well, this is a barter test.
There's nothing unfortunate about swinging both ways.
And your hat gives me a free reroll as well.
Yep.
Okay, so that means I get 2 free
Yep,
rerolls.
Well, if you want to talk to me about that in private later, Anita.
I've got a husband.
I'm sure he's okay with it, right, Chris?
Ugh. Yeah, he rolls. Eh. One success on my barter.
Oof.
He's like,
Oh! I think we just got raped on that sale.
Ow. I mean, I'll take it for sure, but I can't do any better than what I'm already offering.
Ah, thank goodness he's nice enough not to actually take us to the cleaners over losing that check.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I will bank the AP instead.
Yeah, I figured you would the moment you said okay. I'm just writing down everything that's in the armor weapons extra area.
Yeah, if you just want to like do some math on the caps, and then I'll give you how much it gives you for it.
Yeah.
Aside from that, is there anything else folks are planning to do here?
I don't think there's much else I really need to do right now, so I think I'm good.
Do you folks have enough food for the journey in there?
Hmm.
I think we're pretty good. I mean, you never know, because shit happens in the wastes.
Well, they got some a little bit of mac and cheese left. I know you're a doc, but they also got a couple of stim packs up for grabs. I mean, I got one just in case, but you might
Yeah,
want a couple
stim packs are for pussy.
Stim packs are for when I can't get to you in an emergency, or when you really get the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, well, that never happened to me.
Yeah. Wait for it, bud. Wait for it.
I figured out. There's also
Yeah,
a
we've
deluxe
got
toolkit.
a diluted. I don't think we've got anything that really needs fixing.
I'm a buy the last mac and cheese he got at the shop, I think. And
Mass gets hungry for mac and cheese.
yeah, I just had a single iguana, so
I only
just in case.
I honestly picture I picture Mass like I think just Arnold Schwarzenegger from Simpsons is really what I'm picturing. But I'm just picturing him just eating a little thing of mac and cheese at the campfire with everybody.
You mean Wolf Ludwig Wolf Castle or whatever?
It might
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I totally know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
can see that right now.
The goggles, they do nothing. Okay.
I have
Just
my
don't know
excited
distracted.
booster laser gun. Oh yeah. We have food in the thing. Yeah, so we're good. I don't need to buy food right now. Hopefully. I think we're good.
Keep an extra.
We're really good.
Keep an extra one or two of those sidearms you guys got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just-
why I have
We're
the
really
shotgun.
good if you like.
Oh, I have some really fun
We're
syringes.
really good if you like Mylark meat.
Hey, you cook it up, it ain't bad.
It ain't bad. It's definitely not. But it's better than Rad Roach.
Almost anything's better than Red Roach. But you eat what you gotta eat, what you gotta eat.
Smiths, you get a syringer?
Yeah.
I have Pax, 2 Berserker, an Endangeral, a Mind Cloud, and 2 Yellow Belly.
I will just. I'll take them all.
I
didn't
don't
get
know
to-
what they all do.
Truthfully, I don't
but-
either. But it's not. It's not. Let me. Okay, it's my job
I've had
to
them on
find.
Janus forever.
The
Oh,
Berserker
well,
sounds fun.
Oh. Wait. Wait. This might be a funny idea. I'm gonna go see what these do. This could turn into something kind of funny, actually. Berserk.
Now I'm concerned.
You should be.
It doesn't actually help you any, Max. You just find it a lot harder to determine friend from foe. You're just gonna swing.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
not.
okay.
Let's not shoot each other with these.
It was
but
a good idea at
I
the time.
keep
It was never.
they're
a good
like
idea.
at the bottom of one of Janus's packs, and I keep forgetting they're there. Nobody ever mentions a syringer. Everybody likes the stuff that goes bang really loud.
Well, Protectrons are notorious for not having veins.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
that's
great
part
if
of
you
the
can get-
problem.
They're great if you can get the drop on like a raider camp.
Yeah. I probably, now that I think about it, I mean, it's probably been, well, it was before I met any of you guys that Janice and I managed to acquire them.
Oh.
That was a while ago.
Right?
At least
should
to
still be
my
good,
not
though.
so immortal mindset.
Yeah, well, it's not the 240 some odd years that I got, but yeah, I've known you for a while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aiden, if you want me to just, I'll put them in the Discord chat.
Okay.
You can add them to your character sheet.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to keep forgetting that they're there. Because I have literally forgotten that they're there for pretty much the entirety of the game.
I mean, early
So
on
there
it
you
wasn't
go.
such a big deal, but now that but we've been
Because we
traveling
didn't
with
have,
someone that
nobody
has
had
one.
a syringer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just so everyone's aware, those are now Janice.
1 Pax, 2 Berserk, 1
I'm no longer
Endangeral.
tracking.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Yeah, there's like a bunch.
Do you folks happen to have an extra 10 millimeter pistol?
Yeah.
10 mil, no.
Yeah, we got extra 10 mil.
Would you
Pistols?
mind?
Yes. Bullets?
No, not as much.
There's 14 bullets in the shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't mind me using the 10 mil as a backup.
Yeah, take one. Here you go. I would just reach out and pull one off. Pulled off the stack, going through.
Can you grab those 14 bullets for me, Chris?
Yep.
And then, who's our gun nut here?
Certainly
Got it.
not me.
To modify or to shoot?
I'm the exact opposite.
Modify, Smiths. Modify.
So,
I feel like that was a song at one point.
me.
That's a Smith's thing, isn't it?
It is. That's what I do.
Would
What do
you
you
be
need?
able to add a silencer and a
He's only got gun nut one.
I do. Yeah, there is that.
So silencer's off. Silencer's outside his range.
oh dang.
It's gun nut. Yeah, trust me. I would have put that on my rifle.
Right? Because like if I could have gotten a silencer for the 10 mil, that would have been a nice quiet backup versus the really loud kaboom of the 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you shoot the 44 right, it doesn't matter. They don't hear a second kaboom.
That is
Don't
true.
get a chance to warn anybody. You just got to make that first one count.
All right. Well, I'll still tuck that second pistol into my inside pocket of my jacket, and the bullets there, and yeah, and then I'll show off my 44. This is Betsy, with its full barrel, comfort grip, and short scope, and a couple other little items on it.
Oh, nice.
It seems incredibly. As much as I could do with the gun, I did.
Yeah.
It's pretty fancy compared to most of the guns I've seen.
There looks
Well,
like
I knew a guy a long time ago that treasured this gun above all else. He gave it to me as a gift right before he perished.
what am I doing? This is the hard way.
Voluntarily, or did you kill him for it?
A death claw ate him.
Oh, Deathclaw.
Someone mind if I take those Berserk syringe? Because I'm seeing something interesting to do with those eventually. Not yet, but
Well, do you have a syringer to use them? Do you have to
No,
shoot?
no. In fact, it's to combine them with a buff out to do a Fury Gem, and looks amazing.
Ah, well, Smith's is also a chemist, which is drug mixing.
So
Yeah,
am I. But
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So I'll ask you probably later if we get a buff out eventually.
Consumable.
if we get a buff out and those are still around,
Chems.
we can start playing with stuff.
You want to make a Fury, you said?
Yeah, the Fury you combine the buff out and a Berserk. That's what I'm.
Fury's pretty mean.
Yeah, it's perfect for me, man.
Yeah. I mean, Psycho is good on it as well, but Fury is just mean.
Yeah.
Plus 3 melee damage. It's perfect for me, man.
Oh yeah.
I do think that'd be kind of fun to juice mass up on, so yeah, we'll look at that.
Yeah,
It's-
and I'm
It's
thinking
all
of
fun and games until he becomes a helpless addict.
no, I'm thinking of taking Charm Resistance too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
Be a good old party boy.
We're gonna carefully turn him into a drug addict. It's very important when you're experimenting with new drugs, you have to do the research first and do the safe dosages.
He's under medical supervision. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
By a scientist and an actual, like, I got no doctorate here. I'm just putting things in him to see what happens. Smith's might.
That's fine by me.
I'm here for the unfettered, crazy science of it all.
Smith's might be
I
the.
went to school for this.
Yeah, Smith's didn't. He might be the closest to a mad scientist we currently have out here.
Smith is like government or panel oversight. No more.
Yeah, they can't take away my lab this time. Now practice this. You dropped the name.
Peer review this motherfucker.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll name the. I'm gonna. Once I find a suitable gun, I might name it the peer review
Peer review.
for fun.
Oh God, yes.
All right. So you guys have finished your shopping, come up with some dastardly chem-based plans. Realize that your mad scientist is
Literally a mad scientist.
Everything will be fine. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can double check your work.
Sure.
all right. And
Otherwise, Smith's is going to be a leash kid.
since you guys are now officially like chartered salvagers, you are automatically allowed to enter salvage bowl. There's no additional cost. It's one of the perks of membership. Also, 5% off any medical needs you may need.
Oh, that might be important down the road.
Hopefully not. But
Hopefully not, because hopefully
If
we
you
can
need-
take care of it in house.
I was going to say, if you need their medical help, it means that I'm not there for some reason, and that's bad for me. I mean,
Yeah.
Bad for all
Well,
of
thank
us.
you for the offer of healing, Doc.
yeah, part of what I do. It's kept me alive more often than not.
So as the sun starts to set and Rusty kind of closes up shop, basically closes up sales but leaves the shop open because people have beds here and the like.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, all right, gather around. We're all going to tell you how tomorrow's going to work. Okay, so first and foremost, no killing off other teams until you're within the town limits. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time.
What happened last time?
Oh, last time one of the teams killed all of their competitors, so won by default by bringing me back like one box of mac and cheese.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Eesh.
So, keep your weapons holstered until you're into the salvage zone. Furthermore, we're going to stagger the starts this time, so that y'all don't cross the town limits at the same time and start gunning one another down. Competition, not a bloodbath. Mostly. Alright, so this year we're going to run salvageable. We're going to start tomorrow morning and we're going to run till Saturday. Whichever team brings back the most salvage for the shop, based off cap value, will be the winner. Obviously, if you find something that you want to keep for yourself, you can't sell it back to the shop for the points. It's only things you sell to the shop that get points. Got it?
Fair enough.
Alright. Anything that you take in with you, you'll register. You're not going to try to sell me all that crap you're already carrying. If you want to do that, do it now. Doesn't count for points. Alright. Do you want to know the prizes or do you want to know the special items first?
Rises.
Alright. So first up, we got this. Found this. Somebody pulled this out of a vault. It is an entire case of perfectly preserved Blamco mac and cheese. 12 boxes. Guaranteed radiation free.
Okay.
Apparently, other people don't like their Blamco spicy.
Sounds tasty to me.
When the water I add to it can be spicy enough on its own.
And if that ain't enough, and everybody's kind of like, oh, food is food, you know. And he reaches behind the counter and he pulls out this very, very shiny, like nickel-plated 10mm pistol.
That's kind of fancy.
And he
Now
kinda-
that looks nice.
basically, he
Hope it's for use.
oh yeah, it ain't a showpiece.
Oh, good.
Modified this myself to be a little bit quicker on the table and very. I extended the magazine and made it so it's got a quick release on it. So it is a auto quick high capacity 10mm.
It's known as the hand chainsaw.
Pretty much. I think that gives it like +3 fire rate, bringing up the fire rate of 5.
Yeah.
And obviously this is going to go through a bunch of bullets. So I got here a case of ammunition for it. So it also comes with 50 rounds of ammo.
Damn.
And this is kind of the pride and joy. Addison herself got this, when she left her previous employment and came here to take care of us all. And he holds up like a fairly nice looking lab coat. Moderately bullet repellent and good against knives and stuff as well. It's interwoven with some sort of high-tech fiber.
Oh, I think I know what that fiber is, although I don't know how to make it.
Ballistic weave.
Yeah. There are groups that will kill you for having that.
Yep, there are. And then they'll take it and use it themselves. Bunch of fucking hypocrites.
Greedy, not stupid.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So I think, and of course, when you turn in your stuff for points, we buy it from you at, fair price. So you get the caps from that as well. Plus whatever else you find that you don't want to turn in, yours to keep. Sound like a deal? And there's like cheers and everything from around.
Sounds
All right.
like a deal.
So, as per usual, there's a couple of key items that we're looking for. Various people here in the town have put in some requests. If you happen to find a record album called Bird and Diz from 1952.
Bird what?
Bird and Diz. One of the only known collaborations between Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker on record. That'll be worth 100 points straight up. Addison is trying to complete her collection of Grogneck the Barbarian. If you happen to find number 17, Lost in the Snows of Lust. That is also worth 100 points. And as per usual, if any of y'all find or bring me back the head of the albino Death Claw motherfucker that gouged out my eye, you will automatically win.
Noted. Albino Death Claw. Shit.
That's an interesting challenge.
Good to know it's there.
I was going to say, that's the kind of challenge that most people undertake without planning to.
Yeah. Sounds like that might be how a team of 12 becomes a team of 4.
Maybe.
Because the other 4 ran once it was pretty clear how it was going for the other 8.
I can't honestly say I blame them.
I can't either, just holy shit.
No shame in running from it.
No. Deathclaws are beasts to begin with, let alone mutated empowered kinds. Like the albinos.
But it's,
That albino Radscorp that we ran into in that gorge, oh man, that was a piece of work.
Alright. So, with that ado, we're going to draw lots to see what order folks will leave in. In which case, whichever one of you has the highest luck.
Not me.
I think
Yeah.
I have like 6.
I'm at 4.
I'm at a 6 as well.
I have a 5, so 6 seems to be our highest number.
Let's go, newbie.
Alright, so Arkham's going to draw lots.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. So basically the way it works is it's kind of like rolling for rarity. Roll number of challenge dice equal to your luck. Every effect increases the odds of you leaving first.
He's not at his computer.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Would you mind rolling for me, Chris?
Yep.
And let's hope that I've got some good luck today.
So you're leaving in 4th place.
Ain't bad.
Yeah,
So,
not great.
So 3 teams ahead of you, 2 teams behind you.
Middle of the pack.
At least we're not last. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It just means that we're going to have to watch our back when we're inside from the
Yep.
people who are coming in behind us.
That is not a shock.
alright.
Need to watch our front from those that got ahead of us, but we might still get there. We might still get in there before them.
Alright, so everybody can get a good night's sleep. We'll meet up at the dam in the morning. We'll start letting the teams in.
Alrighty.
Giving you guys the evening if there's anything in particular you want to do.
It's an 8.
Not
Not
really.
particularly.
Yeah, I think we're just
Yeah.
wait.
Good night's sleep.
Alright.
Is there
There's a tavern in town, right?
Well, there's Rusty's. It's like a one-stop fits all sort of thing.
So for clearing out our stuff, everyone got another 61 caps.
Cool. Thank you.
So yeah, not a tavern exactly, but Rusty does sell like beer and bourbon. And when he closes up shop, he turns his counter into a bar top.
Can't argue with the efficiency there.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes people don't want to buy a bottle of bourbon, but if you charge them extra and pour it into individual glasses, they'll drink the whole thing.
It's true.
Because people are strange.
Alright. Well, good luck. You guys have any sort of plan or anything for tomorrow? Or seeing which way the wind blows?
My idea would be to find the 2 collectible he's looking for, unless we want to fight that bed clause, but I don't think.
No,
No,
not
it's not.
voluntarily.
So I don't know if there's any leads on those 2 items. That's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mall. We should just look for a comic book store and a record label.
I was going to say, before we turn in for the evening, we should head down to the tavern and scout out our local competition.
But we're in the tavern right now.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Alright.
It's one-stop shopping here.
It is.
Well, what do we
one
got?
Hmm?
5 teams. We could hit 5 other teams.
There are 5 other teams. I will get somebody to give me. Let's call it perception and survival to kind of size up the competition.
That tends to usually wind up being me.
Yeah, I'm going to totally vote on you on this one.
Yeah, I've only got an 11 on that.
Yeah, my 14 tag 5.
Yep.
I see perception and survival. Yeah, I only got a 9.
Alright. So you kind of like looking around, and everybody's like, having a few drinks, but everybody is very much divided into their little teams. And you can see some of them some of them, it seems like it's not their first time doing this. Like some of them have like little like kind of hand-drawn maps as to like maybe places that they've been to already or places that they know have been picked out already. You know that basically it runs till Saturday. Everybody's setting off on Tuesday, so it's not like it's a like 1 day or 1 hour. It's like a multi-day excursion.
Yeah, and it's entirely possible someone will find it and then have to fend off others.
Right. Like, you know, you may find like one of the key items and then have to like run the gauntlet back to trade it in before you get gacked. So the teams seem to be one of the teams is definitely like the faded NCR guys. Given the state of their equipment and everything, you're guessing probably deserters as opposed to like current members of the NCR.
Yeah.
And they have a Mr. Gutsy robot with them.
Yeah, the Gutsy is the one I'm concerned about.
Yep. And he is armed with the standard Mr. Gutsy accoutrement. So he's got the buzzsaw, he's got the 10mm, and he's got the flamer.
Damn.
Two of the groups seem to be either raiders or ex-raiders. Doesn't appear to be from any like large like known gang. Like that's not from like the Powder Gangers or the Jackals or anything of that nature. One of the other groups appears to be just folks like you, just like people from all walks of life wearing an assortment of armor. They do have one of their members is a super mutant.
Oh.
And he's on the large side for a super mutant, but not like he's not a behemoth, for example.
Good.
Yeah, there's a world of difference there, thankfully.
There is very much a world of difference there.
He'd be drinking outside if he was a behemoth.
Yeah. But he is
When they say he drinks around the bar.
but he's got to be a good like 10 feet tall and probably about 4 feet across the shoulders.
He's a big one.
And seems to have a
He'd make a decent mobile weapons platform.
yeah. Basically, the only thing that he seems to have for a weapon is like a fairly sturdy looking 2x4 with a nail in it.
You know, that's saved the planet from alien invasion a time or two. So.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the final group, they seem to be quite well equipped. Their weapons still have that new look to them. Like their boots are polished.
Oh no!
And you do notice, Boise, you notice their dog tags.
Yeah.
Are they gunners or are they Brotherhood?
They're brothers.
Gunners don't have pristine looking gear.
Yeah. They are Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Which does beg the question, like, Brotherhood aren't scavengers. Why would they be taking part in this?
Yeah, there's got to be something in there that's definitely of interest. Oh.
And you do have an action point if you want to find out any more information about any of the groups or anything related to it.
What does the group think? I was just about to ask Rusty about what kind of loot in your territory would draw the attention of the Brotherhood.
Something
It's
old.
literally the thing to spend the action point on.
Yeah.
What would draw the Brotherhood here?
I guess that's our spend.
Right. So the Brotherhood is obviously very interested in reclaiming technology, lost technology. And as you're kind of like mingling a little to kind of like overhear things, see things, that sort of thing. They're one of the groups that they do have a map. They have what looks like a fairly detailed map, probably like aerial photography from
Sons of bitches. Using vertibirds.
using vertibirds. And deep within the within the ruins, they have like an X marked.
Oh,
I'll try and make note of that.
Yeah.
Are there local maps for purchase?
There are some, yes.
All right. Can I buy one of them to start marking these things down with Boise?
Yep, absolutely. You can buy a map from Rusty for 10 caps.
All right. Would you mind knocking that off my sheet and adding it to my sheet there, Chris?
something non-conventional that you might need. That's 10 caps. That's the Rusty promise.
That's right.
Yep. All right.
There we go.
Well, I think now that we're armed with that information and with a map and the locations marked down that we've seen on other people's maps, we'll try and mark it down so that we know which way they, at first group with their little maps was going, because they had marked out their locations that they were going to head to, where the Brotherhood's going. I don't believe the other groups had maps for marking things down, did they?
Just kind of like hand-drawn things, like one or two groups that have done this before. Kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, we've already been here sort of thing.
Just so they know that they're, when they get into an area, oh, we already went that way. Let's go this way.
Yeah, and try and recall that stuff on our map when we're planning privately later, so that it's, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, they already marked off the dead zones. We don't need to go back and check those areas, so we can skip them. And if they're heading out there and we want to avoid getting into fights, we should head off in X direction. But if the Brotherhood is here and they're heading to there, maybe we should, since when are the Brotherhood launching?
The Brotherhood are launching second.
Well,
Damn, they'll have a head start on us.
Yeah, but they're not that much of a head start.
You know, we could do the dirty and just let them lead the way and clear all the mess out for us, following in and behind.
No, we might be able to loop around them and get there ahead. Depends on what the terrain looks like. I've done a little pathfinding in my years. Kind of a speciality.
Excellent.
That's why I'm wasn't too worried about order. You know, if we got to go first, we'd have a good clean lead most likely. But 5 other teams, there's a chance 1 or 2 other people know how to make the best of the wilds, but not that many.
Truth. I only suggested letting them go first. They waste their ammunition instead of us.
Oh,
And if they're here on a goal, we can loot the areas they leave as they leave them.
yeah.
Thanks for doing the work. Right? God, he's sounding like a jackass.
That's not always a bad idea, but they have a very long institutional memory when shit gets done to them. If anyone comes home.
Oh, I'm not saying we should gun them down.
No, but they remember slights.
Sound like you're talking from experience there.
If you live out in this territory, how do you not have experience with them? Some just a bit
Avoid
more
them.
personal than others.
Well, I haven't met a Tin Man that has been truly decent to the population yet.
Met a couple here and there, but I mean, it's more of an exposure therapy thing, I guess. I think if we helped an old man to not have to sacrificed his life to rescue someone that got shot down. He was pretty decent. The little bit we knew about the other person, they were pretty decent, but yeah, it's like looking for good apples in a bushel of spoils.
Ain't that the truth? See, my encounters with them have been kicking down doors. People who've found things they shouldn't. Taking things by force.
Yep.
Killing motions to the ghouls in the party. Killing folks. Just because they'd be a wee bit different. It's not something I can abide by. But, as you said, I'm not here to start trouble with the Brotherhood.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings. We know where they're probably heading.
Mm-hmm.
We know they're probably looking for some spoil. Because I highly doubt that they're here on a mission of mercy to take down that Deathclaw.
Were there any fucking power armors in the group, or was it just all?
They're not likely to have
Brotherhood.
they're not likely to have power armor in town, even if they have it.
You didn't see any power armor.
Yeah. That's like a we'll grab that on the way out type of thing.
They stashed it into a secret location.
You know, they might get the clear to leave, and then a vertibird swoops down with their gear in it.
Right. We'll have to keep an eye on them.
Story of life.
Who knows?
Oh man, it's 7:08 a.m. already. Damn.
Morning comes early.
A long night of planning later. A few hours of sleep.
And as you guys, since you did see like where some of the teams have gone before, it seems like not far within the city limits, there's an old department store which seems to be kind of like not necessarily the demarcation, but that seems to be the furthest most teams have gone.
Okay.
There are things beyond that, and looking at the map that Arkham picked up, just past the like kind of like the Walmart essentially. There's like some grocery stores. There's some sort of industrial store. A bunch of restaurants, old restaurants. A couple of schools. The place that the Brotherhood has marked is significantly inside the ruins. Basically near a place called Lakeside.
No, that doesn't sound like the type of place that some secret lab might have been, or some other project. Not at all.
Not at all. But yeah, you guys get up in the morning. Everybody can have something to eat and drink out of your food supplies.
Cool.
And the other teams, as they like finish off their breakfast, start like kind of gearing up, checking their weapons, all that fun stuff. And they start making their way kind of northeast-ish. To basically kind of along the artificially constructed river to a dam that crosses over the river, and then the ruins are on the far side of the river from you guys, kind of like around a little bit of a man-made bay.
All right.
And at the dam, that's where basically they kind of hold up and then start sending the teams through in order.
Okay.
Boise, as a trained pathfinder, you judge from here walking. It's probably about a 40-minute brisk walk through relatively open terrain to get to the ruins.
Okay.
And they're giving basically about an hour and a half between teams. So like team 1 goes, and then an hour and a half team 2 goes, and then an hour and a half team 3 goes. So they're giving people enough time to get into the ruins and to move out from the landing area, for lack of a better term. There are, again, reminders to, like, once you're in the town limits, we don't care who brings back stuff.
But be in the town ruins limits.
But be in the limits, please. And don't carry your grudges back to the settlement. You do see one of the raider teams, as you're walking. One of the guys, it's like being like, jackass raider type, kind of like shoots his gun into the air, kind of like, I'm a bass, I don't have to follow the rules. Shoots his gun, which is when the rad scorpion jumps up from underneath the ground and eviscerates him.
Serves him right.
Everybody's like, and you do see, like, between Rusty and a couple other people, there is an exchange of caps.
Not surprised.
Rusty will just look over and say, there's always one. It's almost like a sacrifice, really.
It's not a scavenge bowl without at least one person giving themselves up.
We tell people, maybe we should... I feel like maybe if we tell them about the rad scorpions, but then they won't do it. And it's really kind of funny to see somebody get eaten by a rad scorpion because they broke the rules we told them not to break.
That's, there's like some old sciencey theory about that. So just leave it as is. That's fair.
I mean, if they didn't break the rules, probably wouldn't have gotten eaten.
Yeah. I mean, it gives the locals something to bet on which team it'll be.
Yeah. I mean, some people have money on you guys, but you've seen what happens now, so I think you're fine.
Well, I assure you that if one of us fires our gun off to lure out a rad scorpion so we can kill it for food.
Good plan. All right. Good luck. Come back whenever you feel like it.
Yep. See you when we see you. Which will be long before that raider.
Alright, and you guys set off into the ruins.
Do.
So like I said, it's about 45-ish minutes through like very open terrain. There's a constant feeling like if any of those teams ahead of you had sniper rifles, they could probably pick you off. Thankfully, you didn't see anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, it's quite open, the area between the junction and the ruins proper. But
Can I inspire our team?
you can.
Give a rousing speech encouraging our survival through each of our unique abilities. I just met you all, but I got a good feeling we won't have many problems. And then would you mind rolling for me?
Yep. Speech.
I am inspirational as well.
Yep, so inspirational basically raises the maximum number of action points by 1.
Yep.
Ooh, 0 successes.
Yeah, worth a try. Everybody's too on edge because we're out in the open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boise shoulders his rifle, uses the scope to look down range a bit.
Arkham's giving this speech and everybody's like, shh, shut up. Shh, draw attention to us. Did you see the scorpion?
Yeah, it was kind of small compared to the one back in the gorge.
Yeah.
But after...
I hope it's eaten right.
are you bringing Janice with you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What are the before we go in? She'll ask about the rules. Like, if we don't take Janice in, is someone allowed to like? Is there a place in town where I can leave her safely?
Oh, yeah.
And are we allowed to like send runners back to drop things onto Janice and then go back into the town again?
Oh, yeah.
So, from the sounds of things, we're allowed to run things back, turn them in, and then go back out before the time limit's up.
Yep.
Okay.
Make as many
Let's
trips
see
as
if-
you like.
Let's see if we can find a shopping cart when we're in there, but I'd rather not take Janice with us.
I get the feeling if we find a shopping cart while we're in there, we'll wind up recruiting a poor, lonely, on his own super mutant to carry it. Just the way luck tends to work out.
I'd rather not, but that's just because the only super mutants I've ever seen with shopping carts were behemoths and
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean, I was talking about Tiny there from last night.
oh, maybe.
You know, like if he's the sole survivor.
We'll see how his crowd goes. But
Anyway.
I'd rather us find a shopping cart than have Janice. If we can find one with wheels.
So we want to go check out what has the Brotherhood's interest. I mean, they've already got like a 3-hour head start.
I mean, we can. They might be after their own.
Curious to see what it might be though, because I mean that's shit we could use.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's not like we know the lay of the land that well around here right now, anyway.
Yeah.
I think it depends what it is and how
Yeah.
badly the Brotherhood really wants it.
Well, if it's
Well,
something
look.
problematic, we'll probably be aware of it before we get into them shooting back at us range, and can decide to turn around and go somewhere else. Right?
And who is kind of keeping watch?
I can keep first watch, I guess.
Well, it's while we're
What-
moving
what's-
because I'm busy doing the moving.
Oh,
what's the skill for that?
Perception and survival.
I think
I'm an
the
11.
survival's good.
I'm at 10.
what story? Survival and
Perception.
Perception.
and 9.
I think you and I are the exact same. Rebecca, so you go ahead and roll.
Okay. I'm tagged. Are you?
Yep.
Okay. Just double checking. Alrighty. I don't think I have any gear that helps with perception or survival.
Get you some
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah. I need some of those fancy glasses. Oh, one success.
Hey, it's a benchmark.
Yeah.
One success.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you guys are starting to make your way into the ruins proper, And it's a lot of like on the outskirts. It's a lot of like kind of like ruined houses and like single family dwellings.
Okay. Suburbs.
I suggest we head deeper.
Yeah.
These areas generally be scabbed over already.
Well, scabbed over or ignored because it's kind of sparse. It'll be sparse even if it hasn't been.
1 second.
Is there any high ground buildings that I could sprint to and check the surrounding?
Not necessarily. There's a bunch of like ruined houses that at most they're
Yeah.
like 2 stories.
Okay. I'm looking for a water tower or something taller.
There are definitely some within, like once you get past the suburbs and into the ruins themselves, there are definitely some. But there are not any. Not any right handy. Just getting a map ready.
Alright. I suggest we head back past that mall. How far of a walk is it to get to the mall?
To get to the mall, from where you guys are now, it's probably at least another 2 hours, and that's with Boise taking away that is quicker. But as you're making your way, Rebecca, kind of keeping your eyes open. Kind of keeping your eyes open. Then you feel something underfoot, kind of like go click.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Well, that ain't good.
Mines, really?
Is that really a mines?
Yeah.
Alright. I
Right.
think we need to try and disarm this so we don't lose Rebecca's leg.
And at the same time, a burst of gunfire from a couple of the buildings kind of overlooking the road hit Rebecca in the torso for 4 damage.
Dick!
Ow!
Sorry,
That's
what?
4.
So as you're like making your way through the suburbs and the ruined buildings, you step on the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
and just click.
Click.
Yeah, and then a bunch of gunfire from some of the ruined houses.
As the raider group shoots at us.
As
One
some,
of the raiders.
as some raiders unleash on you for only 4 points of damage to your torso.
And then subtract
Yes. So I have 2 armor on my torso.
So you take 2.
Oh no, not injuries. Just damage.
Assholes.
And yeah, it comes from both sides of the street. Almost like it's set up as a kill zone.
Rebecca's gonna pull out her shotgun.
Right. Well, Boise is up first.
Yeah. Boise. Boise. suppose they're all taking all these ruined houses. They're using cover too.
Yep.
That's fine by B. So first I'll move to this ruined house
All right.
as I unlimber my rifle. And I will start the fun off by targeting Raider 7.
Alas, poor Raider 7.
I will take that AP so I can use my aim action, because I am a bastard. Because I have sniper, and I finally have a scope to use with it.
Excellent.
So I will hit them in the head.
But he has no armor in his head.
Precisely.
Oh, that'll hit. He has 1 point of armor from his cover.
Lucky him.
Yeah, it's probably not going to matter a whole lot.
Especially with those 3 points of piercing on that 7 damage. And I'm sure that generates AP because they're in my perfect range.
Yeah, it would generate 2.
Yeah, so I'll spend 1 of that to put the same into his friend. With Gun Fu. Shamefully no piercing because the effect doesn't carry over, but...
That one catches him in the torso, though. So, he is bleeding and the other guy is stunned.
And then as I'm finishing up, I'll just yell, "That's your only warning shot."
Right, that will take us to Arkham.
Which house did he fire on?
I shot at that one.
Oh, the middle.
Yeah. So I figured I was going to go 7, 6, 5, 4.
Close quarters. Well, I guess I'll move up here.
Just because everything except the second floor is long range from where I moved to, so it's perfect for my gun.
Can you put me up here? I can't move my token.
Right, go charging off into the building.
Yeah. Kick down the door, pull out my pistol, shoot number 4.
Okay.
So that is small guns. I'm going to borrow an AP.
That's why I left one there.
Yeah, borrow an AP so I can take an extra small action to aim. And then I will fire with my 44 Magnum.
Okay.
So can you lower that down?
That is a hit.
I click the dice. Not sure why it's not rolling. There we go. Holy crap, nothing.
Right. Well, the
I mean,
first,
it's 10 damage because of the vicious. For Mike's roll.
Yep. He is still alive. You have center of mass, right?
That's their my abilities. Yes, I have setter mass.
Okay, perfect. So torso hit. So he is bleeding as well. Oh, these poor guys. They do not know what has hit them. That will take us to Smith's.
Hmm. So can I do like a pop out from this sheet?
I don't think I have pop out enabled.
It's okay. Okay. Where's Raiders? There's Raiders 7. I'll shoot at the same one that Boise did.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I'll move into the house.
Okay.
I'd like some cover with that house.
All right.
And then can I shoot at Raider 7?
Sure can.
Perfect. When I'm shooting, do I have to say ahead of time if I'm spending extra ammo, or can I
Yes.
just
You do. Yep.
No, I'll just roll. I don't normally hit anyway. Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
If I played literally anything else, I'd hit every time.
All right. That will take us to Rebecca. Who is standing on a mine.
Yup. I'm not too happy about it either. I don't think I can hit the. Let's see here. Oh. The shotgun. I can't see the range.
It's same. So you have to.
Shit.
It's +1 difficulty to shoot outside of it. Your current.
Oh dear. Yeah, both of my weapons are close. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Well, the fact it hasn't exploded is,
It's because I haven't stepped off it yet.
But it's also Minecraft, right? Or it's also Minecraft. It's also Fallout.
Fallout. Shit.
FYI, I do have the explosive skill. Maybe I could disarm it.
Maybe. Hopefully.
I don't know. Yeah.
Guys?
There's also the slim chance it's just a plunger with a click noise.
I mean, maybe. It could
That
just
is
be like,
literally-
that's the alarm.
That's like my all-time favorite trap in like any of the Grimtooth's books.
It's an
'Cause that-
asshole
'cause-
move, is what that is.
It really is, because, I mean, you're going to overreact.
Yeah. Yeah, Rebecca's gonna call out for help. Guys? Something just went click under my foot. And she's gonna crouch down as best she can to make herself a smaller target. And, yeah. Yeah, she's gonna end up crouched there because, I'll try to take a shot at, Raider 3. I greatly doubt I'm gonna hit him, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
And just a sec, I'm just scrolling down to page 90 here. Oof. Okay, yeah, I'll use the shotgun.
Okay.
All
That,
success.
it's a miss because of the
Not
range.
enough. Yeah. Okay.
Alright. That will take us to mass.
Okay. If I stay at the same spot, can I throw a grenade then try to disarm the mines?
That would be 2 major actions, so you would
Okay,
need to
it's
spend
major.
like, yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Uh yeah, what are the chains? What is the role for trying to disarm the mine?
Intelligence and explosives.
Oh god, it's with intelligence.
Mhm.
Well, I think I'm gonna forget it. Because I'm pretty stupid, sadly. I'm not bad at throwing grenades, but
I'm averagely intelligent and only barely trained in explosives. Yeah, I'm not taking that chance. Not under fire anyway.
I am
yeah.
not good with bombs in that manner. I can pull a pin and throw them, but nobody showed me how to put a pin back in. Low intelligence and high explosives tossing as well.
I'm just getting war flashbacks from a certain former raider turned member of our village that always set off the explosive traps.
These are like old residential house, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna throw my Molotov cocktail at the Raiders 3 and 2, hoping the full house will burn.
Okay, gotcha.
Uh, oh, I'm not sure if it's the right thing. I think it should.
Yep.
Molotov cocktail. Okay.
Perfect. Alright, so it goes flying in. Just check the range.
I rolled the damage too for it.
Yep.
Oh god.
You could spend a luck to re-roll up to 3 of those if you want.
I will do that, I think. Only one luck to reroll, and I click on those and reroll, right?
Exactly.
No, that's better.
That's better.
Let's go with that.
So yeah, so you throw this Molotov cocktail, flames like start. I mean, it's an old ruined house. It catches flames pretty quickly. There's
That's-
some yelling from inside. Because it's a blast, it does hit both of them, plus the house, and they will take persistent damage at the end of their turn.
Sweet. So I will. Sorry, Rebecca, but I will leave you and go to move to Raider 4 and 5 because I don't want to burn myself too.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if I can. Okay.
The Raiders' turn. So one of the Raiders is stunned and can't do anything. 2 of the Raiders have sucking chest wounds and will probably die at the end of their turn. The guy with the chest wound is going to try to shoot at Boise with his submachine gun. And he will let it rip.
No,
And I'll,
Raider blade.
And I'll spend some AP. That will miss due to range.
Aye, sir.
Bullets like shatter the the window frame or near your head. Put a lot of bullets towards you and Smith's, but to no avail. The other guy is stunned. Oh, he takes 2 bleed damage.
That's
Ugh.
good.
Haha.
Bleed, bitch.
still alive. Regretting his life choices that have brought him to this point. The two up here.
And even if they backed off now, he's screwed because that was the warning shot.
These guys are going to shoot at Arkham since he shot at them. Bonus effort group. Oop, that will miss. Bunch more bullets. These guys are on fire. They are probably going to be running around panicking, trying to put themselves out. That sounds like something that they should do. Oh!
Nope.
Good
They
idea.
make it worse.
Yeah. So.
Put me out with your Molotov. It's liquid.
So there's some screams over from that house there. And then apparently they ran into like maybe where they kept the rest of their mines. And there's like an explosion from that room.
Well, it was nice knowing them.
Was it though?
He's just being polite.
And the guy that's on fire, he's going to take 6 damage that turn.
That was one useful Molotov.
See, Oakland, you don't need to drink every bottle of booze.
Yeah. And the last guy is going to try to shoot at Rebecca. But he's probably going to miss because of range.
You're soaping.
Yeah.
He will miss because of range.
Yay!
Back around to Boise.
May as well hit 7 again in the head as I aim.
Okay. Oh.
Click. And of course, I will spend the 1 AP to spread the love to his friend. And the extra bullet. Oh, wrong day. I almost rolled the attack again.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, poor guy.
And his friend's taking 9 into the...
It's not going to matter.
Yes, Mr. Second Chest Wound.
Yeah. He was barely clinging to life. He was like, but who's going to feed my dog?
You know what, guys? I'm going to take this 2 AP and take a second shot. I'm going to shoot Raider 5. Because it's the same difficulty.
Yep. Can I line up through the 2 windows? That is a hit.
I won't spread the love that time. You know what? I will. Since it got me it back.
Ooh. Stuns that guy and kills that guy. That'll take us to Arkham. As these 2 guys are facing you, and then like one of their heads explodes, and the other guy just looks over with like in panic as like the bone shards penetrate him.
I told you.
Ooh, in his torso.
That sucks.
You picked the wrong day.
Oh! Oh!
I'm gonna choose to not use my torso shot and totally take the head shot and just vaporize his head.
Yeah. No problem. For future, you do have to declare that ahead of time, but
Yeah.
Wherever you hit him, he's going to die. So don't even have to roll damage. I don't think you can roll low enough for him to live.
Yeah, we've been defaulting center torso is on for center mass, but so you have to declare off.
But yeah, that is not a problem at all. Oh, he is very dead.
You pick the wrong day. Blam! All that's left is paste.
All right, Smiths.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I might be able. Oh, never mind. My explosives are 0. Gee, we never really planned for somebody to blow up, huh? I'll move to the main road. Then I'll try to shoot Raider 2.
Okay.
Then I need to go on my
Pew.
no hits. Oh damn. Okay. I'll be back.
Rebecca and Mass. Actually, technically Rebecca first and then Mass, because 12 to 11.
If someone can help, that'd be great.
And I'm going to try to shoot Raider 2.
Okay.
So we can at least get him out of the running. I mean, I greatly doubt that my roll's going to do it, but
Oh, that's a hit.
oh, hey! Uh,
Oh,
and it has spread vicious.
so it's going to hit him for 6 and then 2 more hits of 3 each.
Yay! Hopefully that finishes killing him.
That very much does.
Excellent.
Somebody, anybody.
And that will take us to Mass.
I'm looking at Arkham and I say, dude, you didn't left me any?
I'm sorry, my large friend. When Betsy wants to sing, she does. But we got another songbird calling out for help right now.
Yeah.
Kindly give Rebecca a hand. I'd
I'm
appreciate it.
the only thing I could see is looking for something to cover Rebecca inside the house that I could take in. I don't know, like a refrigerator door or I don't know.
You can spend a point of luck to find something that would work as like a bomb shield sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. I'll try to keep those. So since this guy is on the second floor, I can't really reach him.
Yeah, he's 3 zones of movement away, and the most you can do is 2.
Yeah, and he is in like the upper floor of a burning building.
Yeah, that's the problem actually. So the thing I will do is kind
It's not
of
a problem. Go save Rebecca. Let Boise fucking waste some ammo on them.
I'll put myself between the line of fires to cover Rebecca since we don't have anything.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's about it.
Right, this last guy.
Can I shoot him and miss? I don't actually know if it's my turn. I just got back.
He is going to. He's going to run through the fire, or is he going to jump out the window?
He's gonna pull out his mini nuke and charge us.
He is going to jump out of the window.
Can we interrupt bad guys' turns by spending AP?
No, you can, after somebody else goes, you can spend luck to take your turn, but you can't interrupt. Unless you can, like, ready an action, so, like, when this happens, then I do this.
Okay.
But he's going to jump out of the burning building and run the hell away from it.
Makes sense.
Unfortunately, that's as far as he can get running. Which will take us to Boise.
That's a damn shame. I think I will take my aim at the last raider, and shoot him.
I would say keep your ammunition, but that's your choice. Oh god. Oof.
Poor guy, losing his head.
Oh god. Yep.
You don't need all the piercing. He doesn't have a helmet.
Yeah, but I have it for the people that do.
Right. So he jumps out, kind of. Oh, I forgot to take his falling damage. He jumps down, kind of like he twists his ankle. He kind of limps. Realizes that this is as far as he can go, and then a shot rings out, kind of like catches him, like grazes his head, stunning him. He's having a bad day. He didn't want to be a raider. He wanted to be a florist.
Well, he should have
Born
thought
in the
of
wrong
that.
century.
Well, that's the problem. There's not a lot of flowers around anymore.
He could have been a florist. He could just went to town.
That'll take us to Arkham.
All right. So Arkham. Well,
We'll save Rebecca and let Mass finish off that raider.
there we go. I move over.
He won't give me that pleasure.
And yeah, I would like to spend a luck for the explosive not to go off until Rebecca and I move out of the square. To change the story element of the scene that's going on.
Not just to have it be a dud.
No, but to specifically, I step in the square, grab her, stepping out of the square with her in my arms.
Oh shit.
And then we're going to go into this house together, so.
Poor
Okay.
Smiths and Mass.
Okay.
Oh shit, oh
Yeah.
shit, oh shit.
That's nice of us.
All right. Smiths.
There's still a raider? I'm gonna miss him again.
Well, he's in your sweet spot now.
Pew! Oh, I actually hit.
Oh, that is a hit.
Oh.
Rebecca, you should have been moved with me.
Damage roll.
Because I grabbed you and spent a luck to change an element of the story.
I
So because
appreciate
I
that.
have Vitus, I do 4 damage.
No,
Five.
it calculates your fishes already.
Nice.
But that is enough to kill him. And as Arkham like runs down, grabs Rebecca, and like basically like pull, partially throws her into the building. Both the you and Mass see the mine like basically like there's like a little flick as this like little like hammer type thing flies up into the air, and the beeping gets significantly faster.
AK, if you want to use your short action to move zones. You might want to.
Oh, I would like to move zones into a house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do the same, I guess.
All right. And then there is an explosion, a decent sized one. Those of you trained in explosives realize it was probably a frag mine.
Yeah, I do have one of those.
You wear it on your back. So when it clubs you in the back, the mine goes off.
Well, ma'am, I told you that I was here to help. Shall we keep going?
I greatly appreciate it.
Well, let's collect what wares they were carrying of value.
Yeah.
Probably not much. They'll
They had SMGs.
armed, right?
I
Hey.
mean, they at the very least they had weapons and bullets.
Yeah,
Guys,
or at least.
Maybe they'll have a bag for you.
out of character moment.
Hmm.
Somebody spend a luck to find one of the items that we're looking for.
Won't happen.
We don't have enough luck, is what he's telling us.
Yep. Certain things
I
require
mean-
more than 1 point of luck.
I've got 4 that I never use.
Mm-hmm.
Is it luck only comes back when you finish a quest?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the GM determines you have advanced the story or achieved something significant enough.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
we won't find
perhaps-
anything here.
We'll find
Perhaps
guns
find
and ammo.
something.
Yeah.
Because they
Indeed.
had SMGs, and they've got bullets for SMGs at least.
These guys weren't too far enough to find anything of value that wouldn't have been found before anyway.
And more importantly, none of the raiders, like the 2 raider teams, weren't armed with submachine guns.
Yeah. So this is all stuff we can claim.
These are native raiders, for lack of a better term.
So these were not a team. That's,
No.
No, this is free game.
Okay.
But yes, you guys can get 4 submachine guns. 2 of them got exploded, and 1 of them is mostly melted.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
If I remember, submachine guns I think are 45 caliber. And they have ammo for them as well.
Don't mind if I do.
63 rounds of ammunition.
63 rounds of 45.
Wow.
All right, my fellow riflemen, looking at you there, B. Do you care to split these rounds between you and I? You take an SMG, I take one.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
And then we'll throw the other 2 into the pool.
Yeah, good idea.
And then that would just be asking Chris to add SMGs and 32 rounds to Boise, 31 rounds to me.
Sure.
And then that's about as equal a split as I can get on the bullets. Because I'm assuming, Mr. Scientist there, that that big old fancy laser gun of yours is what you're going to be using most of the time.
Yeah.
And the big guy over here, he uses his fists.
Yeah.
And Doc, well, she's got a, street sweeper with her, so. All right.
There we go.
Huzzah.
All right. There's also 5 sets of road leathers.
Yay.
Sorry, 4 sets of road leathers.
Yeah. I figured.
And 4 tire irons. Because you're not a raider if you don't have a tire iron.
Did they have any chems, or did they take them first?
They did not have any chems at all.
Oh.
And to Rebecca, no sign of them being chem users.
Huh. Well, that's weird. I mean, maybe you guys conveniently shot them where they'd been using these chems, but I don't think these guys have been on anything. That's a rarity.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
how many people take chems to the side of the head?
Okay, well, those shots aside, some of us aren't exactly, aiming at specific spots. We're just happy to hit the body in general.
I understand. I just wanted to
Or
make sure for
Not
clarity's
so
sake.
much, but,
Just wanted to make sure
and
for
I'm
clarity's
sure out there somewhere there's a freak doing it.
sake. I think we'll recognize him when we see him.
I mean, you'll probably be able to tell, yeah, he's the one taking Psycho.
Maybe it's the one who's charred burn in the house.
Maybe. But yeah, this is...
We'll never know.
Maybe they're just hard to come by around here.
Now Chris is going to have to work himself up to making an Akira-style swollen, bloated head raider because it takes all the chems in the head.
I mean, well, now that you've mentioned it.
Did he just stick a buff out in his temple?
Although while you search these raiders, pull off their road leathers, grab their submachine guns, make sure they're still working, all that fun stuff. Grab their tire irons. You do notice that a couple of them, it looks like they've, aside from the ones that got Molotov cocktailed and blown up, some of them have large patches of burnt tissue on different parts of their body. Sometimes on their arms, sometimes on their back, sometimes on their torso. But these large portions of burnt flesh, almost burnt and melted flesh.
Well, out of character, that's entirely a crew of raiders that was far less on about chems. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting identifiers.
Say, Rebecca, give me an intelligence and medicine roll.
Sure. I'll put on my lab coat first. Because I would really like to re-roll that 18.
I sure do like them fancy out here on this side of the coast.
That's better.
As you're looking at them, around parts of the burnt melted flesh, it looks like it was done with it doesn't look like it was an accidental fire. It looks more like the way the flesh is kind of melted and kind of flowed a little bit. It looks like it was done with a blowtorch or a flamer.
Oh,
Creme
that's
brulee.
nasty. Because I know none of us did that.
Nope.
How long ago?
That sort of thing you can spend AP for.
How much AP we got?
4.
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll spend an AP.
Probably. I mean, it's healed. It's not. it's no longer like tender flesh; it's healed. So, I don't know, a month.
But is it-
maybe?
Okay, I was gonna say, is it kind of the pinky shiny of healed but not that long ago, or is it the pocked over and looks like skin of this was 10 years ago?
No, definitely more recent than that. It's still kind of pinky.
However, this guy got melted. That happened about a month ago. I mean, taking into account that, people heal at different rates, and I wouldn't say 30 days exactly, but
No. 30 days exactly. I got you.
I mean, as opposed to this happened like a year ago or
Yeah.
10 years ago or something like that,
They're not that far removed from the
or
incident.
yesterday. Yeah. I mean, far enough that it probably wasn't hurting that much anymore. But he was probably still noticing it.
Silly raiders and their weird rituals.
Yeah. I still think it's weird that
I
They
bet
had-
you it's their boss. How they bring new people to join them,
or how they punish
There's,
people.
right?
I'm sure if we keep exploring, we might find more information on this, or it could just be they were totally a random circumstance.
Could have just been really unlucky. I mean,
Yep.
it happens.
They did choose the wrong group.
Well, I mean, yeah. Still think it's weird that there's no sign of chems on any of them.
It might be part of their creed.
Maybe, but
Maybe they get
I've
off
never
on burning
seen it.
themselves.
well, I mean, that's a possibility too. There are some mighty weird raider groups out there. Some of them have got some really wonky ideas.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, it seems like an indoctrination thing,
Maybe.
breaking
Does-
the wills of those that don't want to join.
Chris, is there just the one person that has these burns?
No, all of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right then.
it's like it's their MO.
Gotcha.
Huh. I mean, it would, I suppose, come in handy in a firefight. Pretty easy to identify who's on your side.
Yeah.
Hard to get new members, though, I would think.
Yeah, maybe they're all fanatics. We don't know.
That's true.
Or made to
Strange.
be fanatics.
Stranger
Yeah.
things have happened.
This group may have been a bunch of former fanatics that said screw that and left.
Mm-hmm.
But we can sit here and spitball on this for days.
Yeah,
We're
we
losing
should
daylight.
Yeah.
try
time
to
to move
find
on.
stuff.
All right, so you guys pick up and move on, continuing to push further into the city, into the ruins, and start to leave the suburbs behind and get into more built-up area. There's still a lot of residential, a lot of run-down residential, destroyed residential, ruined residential. But periodically you get to places where like an intersection of streets, there'll be like the remnants of a Slocum Joe's or the bombed out, burnt out husk of a Red Rocket. You're starting to get into the more normal sort of thing.
Yeah.
normal being relative.
Where it's less devastation and more the buildings are still kind of intact.
Exactly.
That building has paint on it still.
Yeah, that one's only partially peeling.
I think
Hey,
I
look,
can make out
a
a
neon
crab.
light.
And in the distance, basically like 3 or 4, maybe 5 blocks away, kind of through the rubble and the ruin, so,
The forlorn cry of a lone Deathclaw.
no. But you see what looks like a still intact church steeple.
Oh, that's a location.
I will mark that on my map. And same with the street numbers as we've been going down them, see if we have a trail that we've taken here
Gotcha.
written on the map. I want to try and record our journey.
I like to think that for naming streets, it's just Street 1, Street 2, Street
Well,
3.
that all depends on if he actually sees a sign.
If I actually see a sign, then it gets whatever the sign says. Yeah, I'm not dumb enough if I can't read.
So yeah, this is Lincoln Boulevard.
Excellent.
Then are you continuing on towards the church or just kind of marking it for later?
I think
Yeah.
the church is probably a pretty good point to head towards because it's also a high ground spotter area.
Agreed.
You know, so Mass doesn't have to like climb a smokestack or a tree or a light post.
He sure
like-
does seem to be itching to get up the ground.
Yeah, I want to see what's around us.
So as you get a little bit closer to the church, probably like a block away, kind of keeping to the ruin so you can kind of get eyes on. I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna try and be stealthy as we approach it as well.
Okay.
See if we can't spot any trouble on the way there, so before it spots us.
Yeah, because you don't exactly want to, if you can avoid it, you don't necessarily want to come around the corner where the scaffolding and stuff is blocking everything and find yourself outside Faneuil Hall with a super muted suicider right there.
Yeah, and there's not a lick of difference you can do about it because he's like, beep, beep, boom. You don't even get time to hit that.
No.
So everybody can give me a stealth roll. Sneak roll.
Yay.
Would you mind clicking on mine for me? I stepped away from the computer to help with supper for a second.
Oof. I'm not
And-
sneaking anywhere.
Anita, I appreciate how you added 10 to both of my dice.
It's a skill. What can I say? I roll badly like nobody's business.
The game went, what does Nita need to succeed? Okay, we'll add that to the rolls that happened just before it.
Yeah.
So we're missing Smiths.
My sneak roll, sorry?
Yep.
I do.
Nice.
Oof.
That was almost very bad.
Instead, it fell out in the group's favor
Woohoo.
quite significantly.
So as you kind of wind your way through the ruins, you're stepping through like some ruined houses and kind of getting to a position where you can keep an eye on things. The church is completely intact. Looks like it's been fairly recently painted. Like it looks like it stands out. It's like been painted like kind of a very bright white. But it's compared to the ruins around, it is positively gleaming. You can smell food being cooked, and you can hear people talking. And as you kind of get into position, you can see it looks like there's like a little bit of a tent community set up around, like on the grounds of the church. Like not a lot, like 3 or 4 tents. But what catches your eye is seems to be a combination. There's humans and a couple of super mutants. People are, kind of wandering around. You assume they're priests of some nature, priestesses of some nature, nuns of some nature. Seem to be handing out like plates of food to the individuals. And above all that, you can hear screams of incredible pain and anguish from inside the church.
There we go.
And none of these people here seem to really notice.
More like they don't care.
Or they don't care.
Fresh meat is fresh meat, I guess.
Well, the last time in a Fallout style game, we ran across a community that seemed this nice and wholesome. They were cannibals. They were finally cannibals.
They're always cannibals. Every game I've ever played, the nice people were always cannibals.
Always.
It's a common trope.
So, shall we go make nice with the cannibals? See what we can find out about them before we might have to fight them to not be eaten.
How many people are there?
The quote unquote civilians or the priestesses or both.
Both.
Together.
There's like probably about 5 or 6 humans and like 2 super mutants that seem to be part of this little tent community, and then there's like 3 servants of the church, I guess. Like not a great number by any stretch.
What do you say we sneak around back and see if we can't get in a back door? Find out what all the screaming is about.
We can try and do that.
Maybe you can get a view through one of the windows into the church.
I mean, I'm not great at sneaking, and I can stay up front, and if I hear something, I could just barge in.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna start slipping around the back.
Okay.
Well, then, do you 3 want to wait here in the shadows while we lurk around?
That's probably a good idea. I don't want to get caught and then eaten.
Yeah.
All right.
Eat me if they just think I'm rotten meat.
Well, if you hear Boise or Betsy, you'll know to come running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know what your gun's name is yet.
Currently, it's gun.
No. You should name it something like Clementine or Daisy. Paint a little daisy on the side.
I don't shoot that well.
Maybe you shoot better if you gave into animism and named it.
Maybe.
And then the spirit of the gun can help you.
Do you need another stealth check from us as Boise and
Yes.
Arkham slip around back.
Yeah.
Sneak, 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 sneak.
Oh my gosh.
Would you like to luck at least one of those?
Yeah, I would like to luck at least one of those.
Nice.
Wow.
There you go.
Perfect. That's worth spending a luck on.
Yeah.
So you sneak around to the back of the church, and the screams are getting louder. And as you get closer, you can smell, not so much. I mean, you can smell the cooking, and the cooking smells really good. Doesn't smell like a soup or a stew or anything. Maybe like Salisbury steak or
Long pork.
no.
Oh, doesn't actually smell like pork. Wow.
No, and you kind of peek in the window, and you can see like there's a couple more people in the kitchen cooking. It looks like they've got like some squirrel bits and some vegetables, and they're making like squirrel stew. The screams are still there, and as you get closer, you can smell burning flesh, but it's not coming from the kitchen.
Oh my. Ugh. All right. Well, let's get a little bit. Let's go see where this smell is coming from. Are there purifying sinners to then send them out as their guards?
So you kind of move around to like the side of the building because you can only see so much from the back. So you can go around to one of the sides, unless you guys want to enter.
Not yet.
Okay. Kind of like peek in through like one of the stained glass windows. And yeah, it looks like the basically in the main worship area of the church. There's a number of people sitting in the pews. Probably 15-ish. And it seems like up where the altar is, they are using a flamer to basically burn off raider tattoos off of somebody. And they are saying something. You don't understand what they're saying. It seems to be some sort of prayer or chant, and the person that they're burning is screaming loudly. And priest is kind of overseeing this as like the nuns kind of burn away the tattoos with the flamer. You don't know the language at all, but you do get the name Ug Qualoth. And
Of course.
well,
It's one of the other themes of Fallout.
that's right. And we'll call it there for this week.
Yeah. That's nice.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm here looking for a company named Dunwich. They used to be a boring company,
Yeah,
but
I used to be in the mining.
I'll totally take even more Lovecraft references.
Oh, playing the Far Harbor additions to Fallout 4. Oh my god. Felt like running around New Brunswick with Cthulhu tossed in. So freaky. Loved it.
But come on, there's a ton of ghost stories and stuff out there in Brunswick.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's-
So looking at your current XP and your next level XP, because you guys earned like 100 today.
Yeah, that 114 that we're short.
Yeah. So we'll just bump everybody to 2100.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
We're not gonna worry about 14 XP.
All right, what's the next level XP then?
For level 8.
7.
No, we just hit 7.
You guys just hit 7. So it is 2100 to hit level 7 and 2800 to hit level 8.
So we're at 21 now.
You're at 21 now. And everybody is level 7, so for next game, when you may have to run for your lives from Eldritch God worshipping cult, you guys can decide what skills and perks you would like to pick up.
I think I pretty much know what one I'm taking anyway. I think it's this exact level.
There's too many to choose from.
There are
Really gonna lead.
There's like 92 perks in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the damage perks and the crafting perks, it's kind of hard to choose.
All right, so we will see everybody in a couple of weeks.
It's great playing with everybody. Thank you for the great game.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for playing.
Right.
Perfect. Thanks, guys, and we'll see
Thanks.
everybody next time.
Yep.
See you all.
I'll see you next weekend.
Night, guys.
See ya.
See you.
Ciao.